We are here with the one and only Kevin Burke from ACI North America. How are you, Kevin?
I'm punch drunk, actually. It's been a long week, a very good week.
It's been a great week.
We had a record attendance on both our members, and we had a record number of booths that came to this meeting.
That's very
positive. We are very positive about it. And we are on the last day of the meeting as we speak today, and it's tear down at 3 o'clock. So I'm still amazed by how much traffic is on the floor. So that's good.
They're squeezing it all in.
Squeezing it all in, right.
Yeah, it's a great place to network.
Oh, it's absolutely. And actually, I think the reality is, I don't know how many deals get cut at these meetings, but what it does is it allows them, these vendors, to begin the process of doing a deal. They're not writing contracts here. Maybe they are, that's great.
Maybe.
But most of them are about making contacts for later visits and clicks. I mean, basically, okay, give me a business card. They talk about the product. Then they arrange another time where they come in and actually sell the product, which is good.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, what I'd like to know about is, what are the airports talking about at the show? What have you been hearing? What's new?
Well, there's always something new, but we hear passenger growth, cargo growth, adaptability of our older airports to try to keep passengers happy. In my view, and you heard this in my presentation, it's really all about the passenger experience, how we make that better in an airport. One of the reasons why we have a show like this is because we want our airports to improve. When we're having 1.4 billion people going through our airports every year, they weren't built for that.
Right.
So, and they weren't built for long lines. They weren't built for TSA. They were built for customs, but a lot more people flying internationally now. So what they're talking about is infrastructure, new technology to handle large groups of people going through airports that didn't exist 15 years ago. Most of actually all of our airports were built prior to 9/11. So think about the adaptation that the airports, these older airports, have had to make to be able to come into compliance with TSA and customs about keeping the bad guys out from both sides of the airport. So a show like this, airport directors and their staffs can look around and see what's available. Anything from, like I'm staring over here at seats. Airports need new seats. They need to configure their airports to make them more comfortable. Bathrooms. There's a toilet exhibit here.
Yes.
Which is fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
But you have to think about those things, right? Like,
and as a matter of fact, when they do ASQ awards, ACI World does their ASQ awards. They rate the airport in a whole bunch of different things. One of the things that comes up most often is people like clean, fresh, new restrooms.
Right.
They want plugs for their walls. For their phones, and not just their phones, but for their iPads. So they're not only charging their phone, but they're also playing iPads. They need space to spread out as they're waiting for a flight that may or may not be delayed.
Right.
So when I look around the room here and I say, okay, if you're an airport and you have a problem in a specific area, you need to buy new product, this is the place to do it.
Definitely. And it's a good time to buy and to look forward, right? Because they can't just fit the airport for what they're seeing now. They have to look 10, 20 years down the road and say, what's going to be coming next? Right.
And that's the challenging part for airports because of the changing demographics of the people who are flying. It's not the baby boomers like me, who business travel, I travel all the time, but what are my kids going to do when they travel to an airport, who are millennials? Are they going to drive their cars? Are they going to have to build larger parking garages or smaller parking garages? But those are the things airports have to think about, and directors 20 to 30 years down the line, that's what's going to be good for the next 5 years. Because think about a capital project. It takes 2 to 3 years to plan it.
Right.
It takes a couple of years to get the financing, and then it takes 3 or 4 years after that to complete it. So you're talking about a 5 to 7 year program that allows an airport to build out. That's a lot of work. So they have to take these into account, these factors into account, and plan to say, all right, who's going to be living in this area? Will they drive their own cars to an airport? Or will they have Uber drive them? Right?
They have to be soothsayers to see what is coming.
You really have to look into the crystal ball. And it's like rolling dice. And sometimes you get it, and sometimes you don't.
It could be a costly mistake.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're really not in touch with what the airports are doing. So do you have any shout-outs? Is there anybody that you'd like to call out, say, hey, this airport or this vendor is really doing a good job of seeing down the road?
Well, I would get myself in a lot of trouble if I went and said to one airport.
Right.
What I'd like to say to all of our airports is how hard they work to make sure that the passenger experience is best as they can be. Given the facilities they have, based upon the fact that Congress hasn't given them a PSC increase in nearly 20 years. That would make a big change for airports if in fact they had that. Because like our Canadian members who can basically do whatever they want and charge whatever they want, they have local control, we do not. So what we have is airports, older airports that were designed for a different era. The Canadian airports, for example, are in fact designing their airports based upon local need. That's really what we would love to be able to do right now. So my shout out is to our industry that has been very adaptable under very challenging circumstances, not having the money they need to be able to accomplish their goals. And the other shout out goes to all the vendors here who spent lots of money, time, effort, money to bring their expertise to airports and to sell. Now, I don't know how much has been sold here. I'd love to know.
Probably a lot.
Probably a lot. I do know that we have 80% of the folks on the floor here today have signed up for Grand Rapids next year. That means our staff only has to work on 20% for the next year. So the planning for this event in Grand Rapids starts next week. Actually, it's already started. The contracts have gone to the hotels. Contracts have gone to the convention center. So it's all good. It's all good.
So one last question.
Yeah.
What are we going to do in Grand Rapids? What is fun?
Oh, it's a great town. Have you been to Grand Rapids?
I have. In fact, I did a racetrack event up at Ginger Man Raceway up that direction.
Yeah.
And their beaches aren't that far. You know, it's beautiful up there.
It's a beautiful part of Michigan. It's right on a river. There are bars, lots of and craft beer. I mean, if you like craft beer, it's like the craft beer capital of the world.
Wow, that's going to be a selling point.
Oh, it's great, especially in this crowd, because they like to drink, and that's okay. But they also like to have proximity to the convention center. The hotels are great. They are really anxious about us being there, because think about it. If we're bringing 2,300 people to a city, and they're staying 5 to 6 nights in a hotel, think about what that economic value is to that city.
Absolutely.
It's a big boon. And so, as a matter of fact, this afternoon I just met with the Grand Rapids folks who are very excited about us being there. And we will have meetings, several meetings, and trips out there to make certain that what they want is important and what we want is important. We put it all together, and at the end, we hope everybody gets happy.
Well, this is my 14th year at
Really?
ACI North America shows.
Yeah?
And I've not had a bad one yet, so I'm looking
Can we
forward to the next
hire
one.
you? I mean, we'd love to hire you, yeah. So anyway, this has been great. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, it's
Always
good
nice to see you.
Always nice to see you as well.